Great. Well, thanks very much for coming along today. Hopefully, it will be an enjoyable day for you. Please share your knowledge as widely as you can. So this is the International Conference for Digital Trust, AI and the Future. Forget about the conference bit at the end there. And we've tried to create an agenda which should stimulate some dialogue overall. And really, we're trying to answer some questions. How is AI, digital trust, and cybersecurity going to merge? They are not different things. And please do not think that Gen AI can exist on its own without understanding digital trust, identity, privacy, and so on. We need to, as much as possible, integrate the elements of AI, digital trust, and cybersecurity. If you drew a Venn diagram of those bubbles, we want to be right in the middle because we want to build trustworthy systems that are privacy aware and have security elements. We actually want to build things that are trusted. Like it or not, we live in a legacy world of payments, a legacy world of identity. We still carry bits of paper with us when we vote and so on. We need to move away from that, and we need to properly design systems that are digital by default and that aren't siloed and that bring people together and harmonize things, that break down the borders that we created from the past. So can we build systems for digital payments, digital assets, and tokenization, and do it properly and not just migrate from something that we have just now? And how do we effectively use AI, and how do we understand how AI is going to attack us? AI could destroy our society. It could destroy our kids' education in an instance. It could destroy and cripple our national infrastructure in a minute. So we really need to understand how we can effectively use AI. And then how can we better share data? It's always been a problem in the public sector, especially in governments, in sharing data for the benefit of the citizens. So hopefully today we'll be able to address some of those problems. And then how can we advance with quantum computing? Seems like a massive leap, but it's happening. Moore's law has got to the limit of silicon. It can't go any faster. If we want to keep advancing our computing, we need to start to move into the quantum world. And hopefully today we'll have a practical demonstration of what a quantum computer actually looks like and how you could use that straight away. And then finally, how do we build the tech skills of the future? How do we get our graduates, our pupils, to develop deep skills? Like it or not, Gen AI is really doing away with that low-level knowledge. And if you're basing your work on trivial foundation knowledge, then really Gen AI can come along and replace that. So we need to look at developing deep skills in technological areas. So the program that we've developed, hopefully, will address some of these problems. We're going to have Colin Cook on next, who's going to outline the viewpoint from the Scottish Government. Then we'll have Federico for Fireside Chat. We have 2 panels coming up in the morning after the break. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have 3 guest speakers giving their viewpoints on certain topics. And then hopefully, if it all works, we'll have the mighty GOAT. You know what GOAT means? Greatest of all time. Perhaps Bruce is the GOAT of cybersecurity. So we'll have Bruce, if all the links work and so on, we'll have Bruce at the end to give his viewpoints on AI and cybersecurity. As you know, he's one of the most widely published authors in cybersecurity, and really his viewpoints really matter a lot. And so just not to keep things too seriously, and you should not take yourself too seriously. So there's my Muppet image there. as a crypto professor. That photograph was taken, I think, the day that Meta were taken to. Mark Zuckerberg was given evidence. You can see Mark in the background there. And just so this photograph was taken quite a while ago. You should all create your own action figures if you can from there. Mine's just got Bob and Alice and some keys and things like that. Because a lot of what we're going to talk about today is about encryption. It's about cryptography. I think of it as a concrete foundation. We are building on sand. When we use cryptography as layer one, then we're actually building on concrete, and we can build much better systems for trust. And eventually, we meet our societal ambitions. So our first session, I'm going to outline a few things about our research project. Then we'll go on to Federico, and then we'll go on to Colin, and then Federico. So I'd like to give an outline of why we're here just now. And one of the reasons we're here was because Sarah Forbes and Peter Ferry set up an amazing task force. And you know what task forces are like. It never goes anywhere. Nothing ever happens. No, quite the opposite. We're here today because this is really the seed of what was shown with 5 minutes within that task force. And there was other people involved in getting this set up. And we've set up now the Scottish Centre of Excellence for Digital Trust and DLT. And hopefully we'll be able to start to build an infrastructure that helps support Scottish industry to take their products to market. So there's been many people involved in this overall. I won't go into the detail of it, but the opportunity is there. And the opportunity is that we can start to build systems which can scale, that can be decentralized, and which integrate digital trust overall. And it's a partnership between Edmund Napier, the University of Glasgow, and the University of Edinburgh, along with funding from Scottish Enterprise and support from FinTech Scotland. These are the 4 areas of innovation that FinTech Scotland have advanced. And we're looking at the 3rd pillar here, very much around payments and transactions. So very much we'll be looking to work with FinTech companies in Scotland to be able to advance, to look at areas such as CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and really look at digital payments, digital assets, and try to make the best within our economic infrastructure. Okay, so we'll be working with FinTech Scotland alongside other partners. We've got a number of areas that we're looking at. There will be 4 focused industry calls that we'll be sending out and hopefully working with SMEs around FinTech areas. We're going to be setting up sandbox environments because that's really what we need. We need demonstrator places that allow companies to build systems that will integrate with our future finance infrastructure. And obviously collaboration is an important part. Skills development is there. We're keen to develop CPD content that will really match to how we can move forward. And obviously the European integration is extremely important, especially for bidding for grant proposals. So as I said, there'll be 4 innovation calls. We've developed a CPD program that I'll outline in a little minute. And we want to start to show leadership in areas of post-quantum cryptography, homomorphic encryption, and privacy-aware crypto and areas like that. The other reason we're here today is that because we've just run a very successful program, and this is the end part. We've collaborated with Istanbul Blockchain Women and with Tagas to implement the Trust for Future or Trust for Futures program. It's funded by EIT Digital, and we want to develop deep skills in digital trust. We've just finished our first run through, and this is the end point for it. We've had 4 workshops. We had over 1,000 people signed up, of which 60% are female. Isn't that amazing? In an industry where we have poor diversity and gender balance, we've managed to get 60% female attendees on the course. and we hope to credit rate it in the future. So there's 4 main areas that we defined for that. Core of cryptography, you can't go anywhere in this field without understanding Bob and Alice, public key encryption, and so on. That's a fundamental thing. We then went on to blockchain and ID, looking at digital assets. The third workshop was AI and cyber, and looking at post-quantum cryptography. And then we did a final workshop, and we really dived deep into the future, looking at areas such as homomorphic encryption, zero-knowledge proofs, and so on. It might sound technical jargon, but you can start to think the opportunities. Is homomorphic encryption going to happen? Can I integrate it into my products for the future? We really want to see that advancement happening in innovation. So this is one of the workshops that we had. And one thing you'll notice is that we had Chris Piker at the end. If anybody knows Chris Piker, they know that he is the world leader. 1 minute, he is the world leader in lattice cryptography. So at the very end of every workshop, we had the best person in the world to talk about certain topics. Whitfield Diffie, Ralph Merkel, Marty Hellman. We had so many great speakers that really were there to inspire. Okay, so that's why we're here. But now what we're going to do is that we're going to have a keynote talk from Colin. So a round of applause, please.